Okay, let's see if we can review some of the harder things about Punnett squares. The first thing you need to know is your vocabulary. Okay, your vocabulary was given to you not this past Monday, but Monday before last. So that's like 10 days ago now. I did tell you that you needed to know your vocabulary. So if you don't know your vocabulary, you need to have your notes out from your vocabulary when you are doing the problems. So if it says something is heterozygous, heterozygous means that it has a dominant and a recessive. Okay? That is heterozygous. If something is homozygous dominant, homozygous dominant means that it has two dominant alleles. Okay. If it says it is homozygous recessive, the only way that something can be recessive is if it has two lowercase alleles. Phenotype. It's hard to write all this on here. That's okay. Just give me time. I can only do one letter at a time. Phenotype is physical appearance. That's what it looks like. Okay? Physical appearance is what it looks like. Genotype. Genotype is the letters. It's the letters that make it up. And there my dog's barking, so just ignore them. I took their bark collars off because I forgot that I was going to do this. Okay? Now, if we look at a Punnett square, okay, and it says, let's say the problem says heterozygous, tall, crossed with, the X means it's crossed with it. Okay, heterozygous. Tall. Okay, so you got a big T, otherwise known as dominant, and you have a recessive. the first set of letters go across the top. The second set of letters go down the side. So we have the first one on the top and the first one on the first row goes in this box. The first one on the top, the second one on the top and the first one on the first row goes in this box. That's dominant and recessive. The top, the first one on the top, and the first one on the second row go in this box. So that's dominant, recessive. The second one on top and the second one on the second row here. So it's this one, the second one on top, the second one on the side go in this box, and that's two recessives. Okay, so you have dominant, dominant right here. You have recessive and dominant. The dominant always goes first because recessive means it's hidden. You have dominant, recessive in this box, and you have recessive and recessive. Now, if we look, it's saying the phenotype. So how many of these are tall? How do we know if they're tall? Because they have a dominant T. Okay. Ooh, this letter is not gonna. Okay, they have a dominant T. Okay, so if they have a dominant T, that means they're tall. So this box has a dominant T, this one has a dominant T, this one has a dominant T. They don't have to have two dominant T's as long as they have one, because if they have a dominant T, that means the recessive is hidden. So the phenotype would be, okay, it would be 3 tall, or 75%, it would be 1 short, or 25%. Stop. Stop. No bark. Okay. Then, if we were looking at the genotype, remember genotype is letters. We would have one. We have 3 different genotypes. We have this. We have this. We have this. 2 smalls. All right, if we look at the genotype, we only have one box. So it would be a 1, Okay, how many we got of these? 2. We got one of those. Ratio. Now, if we change that to percentages, that's going to be 25. This is going to be 50. That's percent, but I don't know if I got room to write all those percent signs. Okay. That's going to be 50. Okay, it's not going to let me write right here. Let's see if I can move this up. No. Hold on just a second. Let me erase this. Okay. This is going to be 50% because there's 2 boxes. And this is going to be 25% because there's only 1 box. And then that would add up 25, 50, 25 would add up to 100%. All right, now that we've got the basics down, some of you were having trouble with Punnett square number 4. Before we get there though, if you are doing the first assignment, basically, I can't remember if you were just writing the genotype or the phenotype in the first assignment for Punnett squares. It was the monohybrid crosses, but it's asking you, I think, to do this. Okay, and then you would go onto Canvas, and you would. There's 4 selections. It has the problem. It has like this, and then you would pick whatever your ratio was for the letters. Okay. All right. Now let's go to, and then we talk about the next 2 assignments, 2 and 3. The boxes light up if you get them right. On Monday's assignment, on Monday's assignment, the box on the last one does not light up. There is a glitch. But the rest of them should work. And on Friday's assignment, I think they all should work. Okay, so let's talk about yesterday's assignment. Let me pull that up. Now, you've got to do 4 different things for each problem. Not a big deal. It's nothing other than what we have been doing. Again, you've got to know your vocabulary because it doesn't say letters. It doesn't say what they look like. It uses the science terminology. So in the first one, we have to show the parent's genotype. Remember, genotype means letters. So here we have, in pea plants, purple flowers are dominant over white flowers, which are recessive. Cross 2, homozygous, means they're the same. Dominant parents. It gives you the letters here. So you've got PP crossed with PP. Dominant P, dominant P, dominant P, dominant P. All right, so the first A, it says, show the parent's genotype. So you have to type in their genotype. P, P, X, which means crossed with P, P. All right. B, it said, provide a Punnett square to predict the outcome. That means you got to work the Punnett square, okay? So you type in here, dominant P, Dominant P, dominant P. These are all dominants because their parents have dominants. Dominant P, dominant P, dominant P, dominant P. Okay, so that's B. You just completed B. For C, it asks you to list the possible genotypes. Okay, what does genotype mean? Genotype means the letters. So, the only letters that you have that the offspring are this, so it is 100. You don't have to spend your time doing percentage marks because that takes a lot of time. All right, I know if you have a 100 here, it's 100%. Then it asks you the phenotypes. Now, phenotypes. Photophysical phenotype. This is what it looks like. All right, what did dominant P signify? Purple. Okay. So, PURPLE, 100% are purple. Now, it says here, you may select any letter you wish to represent the alleles. That means for these. All right, let's move on down because I want to show you a different one. You click on these, but let me show you this first. You click on these letters and you can change them to whatever you choose. Okay? So it's not all dominant P, dominant P, dominant P, dominant P, but you had to have a letter here when you set this up so that the space would be saved. So let's move down to another one. I can't move down because it's like slides. Okay, let's go to the next slide and look. All right. Let's look at number 4. In pea plants, inflated pea pods are dominant over flat, okay, which are recessive. Cross a heterozygous parent with a homozygous recessive parent. Okay. You want to use, I don't know, you want to use I, you want to use P, I don't care. Let's use I just so I can show you how to change it. All right. So in pea plants, inflated pods are dominant over flat pods. So we're crossing a heterozygous parent with a homozygous parent. Again, if you do not know your vocabulary, oh man, I just messed that up. Fabulous. Totally messed it up, and now it won't let me type in it. You can't backspace. Okay. Let's see. Hold on and let me shrink this up so I can fix that. Because you might do this too. Therefore, if you do it, you're going to need to insert, whoa, it needs to stop. All right. Okay. Insert text box. And then you got to make it little again. Okay, this is getting on my last nerve. What I'm going to do is I'm going to undo that. I wonder if I undo this enough that it will actually. There you go. Hold on. Bam! I'm back. Okay. So let me click on this one. So if you mess up, you just have to go up here, like I did, and click the undo button till you get it back to where it is, to the one you were working on. Okay? I did not design this one. I bought this one, so there you go. All right. Now, see, I do actually use a lot of my money to do things that are not just paper and pencil. All right. So again, we're going to use a dominant I, and then we're going to get rid of this one. Okay. And we're going to use a recessive I. Okay. And then get rid of that one. We're going to use, and it says, okay, so that is our heterozygous, dominant and recessive. Then homozygous recessive. I am assuming at this time you know that little letters are recessive. Backspace. All right. After much to do, we have dominant recessive and recessive recessive. This is for the heterozygous parent. This is for the homozygous recessive. So now we go over here. Now, if all else fails and your box messes up, work out your square on a sheet of paper and then just put your answers over here. Okay? So we've got dominant I, recessive I, crossed with recessive I, recessive I. All right, then we work this. We have dominant recessive. We have recessive recessive. Here and here gives you recessive recessive. This gives you dominant recessive. Dominant recessive. Dominant recessive. Okay, and recessive recessive. All right. There's a cat outside and my dogs are going nuts. Okay, it's on the deck. All right, cross a heterozygous plant with a homozygous recessive parent. That's what we've done. Our offspring, we're looking at the genotypes. We only have two different genotypes. We have dominant recessive. We have two of those, which makes that 50%. We have recessive recessive. We have two of those, which makes it 50%. Then it talks about the phenotype. So we have inflated, with inflated, we have 50% because 2 of them have big eyes. Flat. We have 50% because we have 2 that have recessive alleles. Okay, I hope this helps you. If not, email me. Remember, I have 2 doctor's appointments today, so I may not be able to get back to you pronto tanto, okay? But I will get back to you. Have a good day.